I was browsing on the YouTubes and I noticed that lots of other people have made maths videos as well. How do we know that we're going to beat the competition now and knock them down?
Well, I had a similar problem to you. What I did is I watched both of them simultaneously, right?
Oh, simultaneously?
Oh yeah, 2 laptops. I was doing it seriously like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I realised that we have everything.
Everything?
Everything that teenagers at GCSE would want.
Oh, what does that entail?
Well, we have the stunning good looks.
Oh yeah, and we have the great jokes, which include
The stunning good looks. Yeah, but
yeah.
witty humour. Anyway, we'll count it as 2 anyway.
Yeah.
And we'll get them through the GCSEs, that's a positive.
Yeah, very informative.
And for the boys out there, we have tons of hot chicks.
Got tons of hot chicks.
Oh yeah, tons.
Why didn't you ever tell me about this? Where are the hot chicks? I don't understand. Where have you been?
Here.
Oh, they're so fluffy.
Recently incubated, so that's why they're hot. And
They are very
chicks
hot.
indeed. If this doesn't keep the male population viewers entertained, I don't know what will.
I don't know what will either. They're so little and fluffy.
I kind of feel sorry for our female audience because we don't have anything.
Oh, we have.
We do?
We have Meep.
Me?
And he's got a hat, so he's a keeper.
Oh yes, definitely.
That's how it works.
We're a winner really. Hundreds of millions of views, by far the best GCSE revision videos on YouTube. I think we can say.
I will. The first thing might be inaccurate, but I'm going to run with it anyway. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we should go on to circles.
Yeah. Probably seen circles before.
Yep, they're the round things.
Yep. I love the round things.
What are they?
No idea.
Anyway, the round things, and you got to ask questions on them. They don't just ask, what are they? And the answer isn't always just round.
Not always.
So we have a round thing.
It's a round thing.
It's a round thing. And we know a few things about it. They've got a little centre point there. And we have a thing which you might be familiar with, and that's the radius. But also some equations, isn't there, Wayne?
Yes, and for a 1 mark question, I'll give you an equation that will look similar to this. X squared plus y squared. If there's 2 squares, that's what makes a circle.
It is.
You can imagine, really, it's the x squared is a parabola, the y squared is another parabola. When you put 2
sort of imagine
parabolas
it a bit
together,
like that. It becomes a circle.
yeah, it becomes a round thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that equals 16. This 16 actually corresponds to the radius, but how?
Oh, it's very special, Wayne. It's often referred to as r squared. So we need to square root this to get r, and that means the radius of this circle is 4.
I'll give you another example.
Alright.
Just these are the 1 marks. This is how the questions would start. Equals root 36. Oh, sorry, equals 36. It doesn't equal root 36.
Yep, and then you find r, which I'm assuming the equation's going to be.
Yep, find r.
Yep, you root it, and that's just 6. It really is that simple, but they don't stop there.
No, that's the 1 mark question they normally start the question with, and if we use this question as an example,
Sure.
let's see how it carries on.
Alright, oh, there's a Q-copter. Got a question. Is that why they call it the Q-copter?
No, I think it stands for Queen Copter.
Oh, I like it. I like queens.
It's a fancy little... Anyway,
Yeah?
it says solve the simultaneous equation.
Yeah.
It's got what we've got up there. This
Alright,
x
sure,
squared
yeah.
plus y squared equals 16.
How about this little bit?
And it intersects with the line x plus y equals 2.
Ooh, yeah?
And you've got to find the points of intersection.
So I noticed this one, Wayne, we can't use the equating coefficients method.
If you were to equate the coefficients in this particular example, you equate them, then you minus them, as you probably remember. X squared minus x just becomes x squared minus x.
And that's not very simplified, so we have to use substitution.
We do, which means find out what x or what y equals and substitute that into the other equation.
Yeah. So we're going to substitute this one in, but first we need an x or a y equals anyway.
Yep, and it doesn't matter which way around you do it.
I think we should do
x
first, yeah. So
okay.
minus y, so x minus y
X equals
2 minus y.
But think about it quickly. This is a line, it's intersecting with the circle.
Sure.
It could intersect like this, which means, you ready?
Yeah.
It's going to have a coordinate there. That's going to give it x1 and y1.
Yeah.
And if it intersects up here, it's going to have a second x and a second y.
Ah, so we're going to end up with 2 quadratics.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Don't forget about the fact that it could be a tangent and intersect at just the 1 point,
Yeah.
or it could just be a straight line above it and not intersect whatsoever.
We'll soon find out.
So, let's go for it.
Yep. So we want to put our 2 minus y into the x at the top.
Yep.
You need to square it, so 2 minus y squared. Now, if you can think of an entire bracket squared, you still have to expand it, which we'll do in a second. And it's the same as timesing it by another one of that bracket. So we'll just expand a bracket, we'll do that in a second.
Yep, so I'll write it out again in blue, as you just said, you've got this 2 minus y squared is the same as that.
Times another one, yeah.
So there you go. Plus y squared equals 16. Now we're going to assume you're fairly confident with expanding brackets now. If it's not, we've got a chapter on that, you can check it out.
You can check it out. So
There's no chicks there, unfortunately. But
sadly not, but we've worked on that. We've brought them in.
Yep.
Yep.
So just check it out.
Okay,
do you want to just quickly do it?
Yeah, so you have y squared minus 4y plus 4.
God.
You did it in a different order,
Y
didn't
squared. I did. Minus 4y.
Plus y squared equals 16.
Y squared equals 16. Yep. So that's just the expanded brackets.
That is. And we want our y squared on one side. And we have that.
So firstly you can add them together and become 2y squared.
You
You
can.
still don't want to move them to the side.
And we have our minus 4y.
Can't be simplified anymore. And you're going to bring this 16 over, aren't
We
you?
are, we're going to bring it over, so it becomes minus 12.
4 minus 16 is minus 12 indeed.
It is. Now we need to solve that, don't we?
Yep. Factorise it.
I don't like it when the coefficient's higher than 1.
No, our friend James Zebedee might be able to do this.
You might be able to do it, and he owes a very special roundabout, so there you are.
There you go.
So let's just use the
Formula.
graphic formula. Yep.
Yep.
So you should know what it is, but if you don't, it's x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
Yep. Now x equals, this formula is the same as y equals that formula if you've got y squareds. Instead, the fact that it's x is just a pleasant way of expressing it. It could be z or p or q if that's the form they happen to give it to you. So I'm going to rub this out so we've got a bit more room.
Good plan. Oh,
Times.
third times.
So
now we need to put these numbers in.
So your b is minus 4, so when it's minus p, it's going to be minus minus 4, which is plus 4.
It is.
Be aware of that.
Then we have our plus or minus our big bracket, and b squared is just 16 in this case.
Yep, minus 4 squared is 16.
Minus.
Then you've got minus 4 times times 2, times minus 12. So 4 times 2 is 8, so you've got minus 8 times minus 12. It's going to be a plus,
Yeah.
and 8 times 12 is
96. Yeah. So 96 plus 16 is 112.
Yep.
Cool. So it becomes 4 minus, we're just skipping a step here, 4 plus or minus
The square
square
root
root
of
of 112.
112. But that's
over-
not a simple root. Oh, 2a is
Yeah.
4 because a is 2 in this case.
Mhm.
So 112, that's not a root, that is a whole number. So if you've got a calculator,
I have got a calculator. Hang on.
because 10 squared is 100, 11 squared is 121. You know it's going to be in between there, about 10.5.
8. Yeah, 10.58 is
10.58. So you've got 4 plus 10.58
Yeah.
is 14.58.
We divide that by 4, and this gives us our first y coordinate, which is 3.6,
3.6, thank you.
and then our second y coordinate is 4 minus
10.458, which
Yeah.
is minus 6.58
Yeah.
over 4.
over 4, which equals minus 1.65.
We'll just say minus 1.6.
Sure.
So these are our two y values. So because we've got two y values and none of them turned out to be an error, we can say that it intersects the circle twice.
Like
So
our first
I'll
example.
put up a mini sketch of what we had before.
Mini circle, and it goes straight through.
So up here somewhere we're going to have the 3.6
Yeah.
version.
And the other one's going to be the minus 1.6.
I'm putting it in coordinate form
Oh,
here.
yeah.
We've still got an x to find.
We have 2 x's to find.
We've still
in
got
fact.
2 x's to find, hold on. And minus 1.6.
Now on to finding the x's. So we have an equation that includes y and x, and we know 2 y's, so we just put it into the easiest equation, which I think is this one.
Yes. One at a time. So you've got x plus 3.6 equals 2.
Yeah.
And this is going to give you the x corresponding to the 3.6 up here. So what you're going to do is you're going to minus 3.6 from each
You are.
side. You're going to get x equals minus 1.6.
You are.
And that would be our value there, if you want to jot it down in red, just to show colours. Now this one, you've got the minus 1.6 in place of the y, so you've got x minus 1.6 equals 2. So your x is going to be plus 1.6, which is 3.6.
It is.
So
So
that's going to be corresponding to that one there.
Now you might be able to predict that from what we did earlier, because they are the same. If we did it in any order we get the same answer, then they will just be the flipped answers.
So in fact, because this is minus 1.6 and this is in the x direction, these points would actually switch around and the line would be going downwards if you look at your coordinates. So I've actually drawn it wrong, but the points are right.
The points are right, and that's the question you get asked at exam. You might get asked to plot it, but they might give you a circle, and if they don't, just draw one.
So if you're asked a circle question, just remember chicken.
And that's all you need in life, really.
Yeah, just chicken.
Chicken, I love chicken. They're not very good at flying, are they, those ones?
Well, those ones weren't.